Before we get into the top returning players, Chris, I'm curious just what you make of this whole situation. It seems to be taking a long time.
Yeah, it is. I hadn't mentioned this to you, but over the weekend I spoke with some friends on the coaching staff at USC, and it came up. And of course, I don't. The coaches don't really know. This is handled by compliance and whatnot, but they swear that look, they got no problem with the kid and he can go, and they signed off on it. But I don't expect them to say, yeah, we're holding it up. Well, yeah, how about, I mean, so I don't know what to believe at this point on that. They say and claim that since January they've done their process and whatnot. It's in the NCAA, so it's the old "I confessed he did it" type conversation. I
Right.
don't know what the deal is, to be honest. I have been through situations like this before where it comes down right to the end. It is easy to blame the NCAA because they don't usually talk. They don't, and so it's easy to say that they're holding it up, or maybe it is USC, maybe they are okay with it, but is the proper paperwork at the right time? This is where, and I don't want to get off on a tangent because I tend to do that, but this is where having not good leadership or organizational structure. We talk about it in terms of NIL and transfer portal and all that. Those are big issues, but this is another issue that this doesn't happen. And I'm not trying to compare it just because I've spent a large part of my life in the NFL. This is where it wouldn't happen this way in the NFL. You don't allow, the Eagles to determine whether, the Giants have this. No, you've got a situation that needs to be handled, and it shouldn't be up to that. There should be there proper procedures that need to take place, but they're instituted by a body. But in fairness to the NCAA, what people don't understand is they say, well, the NCAA should do that. The NCAA can't do anything.
Yeah, the NCAA can't do anything until USC, which I think illustrates your point, fills out the proper
Yeah.
paperwork. Amanda, I don't think the NCAA just sat on it until Friday, and I think they're inept. And I think there have been situations where that's happened, but I don't.
It never takes the NCAA this long to approve eligibility. It's normally a quick, yep or no. And all USC had to do was sign the first form that released him. All they had to do was release him. Tennessee shouldn't have had to go through this waiver process and all this other stuff. All they had to do was release him at the very beginning. And I can't remember what the form is called. And I put it in the story, but off the top of my head, it's like four words.
But anyway, I'd never
Yeah.
heard that. I'd never heard the acronym either. Go ahead.
No, but all they had to do was sign that, and he would have been eligible. It's like taking a permission slip from your parents to go on a field trip. He would have been eligible right then to go. Like, here you go, paperwork's done. But they did not do that. They didn't do it. They made Tennessee go through this waiver process with the NCAA. They didn't do it. And that is ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, with all of that being said, and all the USC coaches saying, oh, we did this, or we did this, or we did this. Well, if it's really up to the administration that's handling it, they can't say it's both. They can't say the administration handles it, or, we've done everything we can from January. It's one or the other. If the administration handles it, you have no idea what you've been doing since January. If you are the ones that are doing it, then stop putting it on your administration. It's one or the other. It's not both. And Tennessee fans are not fooled by USC whatsoever. You can clearly tell that, to the point that USC had to come out and put on their Twitter feed that they've been complying with the NCAA and dance all the way around it to try to confuse everyone, to say, we've been doing this. We've been complying in a timely manner. A timely manner, again, could be a year that the NCAA gives you. A timely manner is 6 months. Like, that's not, you're dancing around it. But Tennessee fans on our poll yesterday, 50% 52.2% said that if they believe that USC has done everything they can to help in the Bru McCoy situation, 52% said no, that it seems shady, and then 43% said, like, absolutely not, USC and Riley are liars. So you have 90% of people thinking that no.
If you can't completely reset, and by the way, it's an NPO form. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Joe, for helping us out there. It's an NPO form. So if you can't reset yesterday's tough question, because it did surprise me a little bit when I looked at it late last night.
Yeah. So yesterday's tough question was, do you believe that USC has done everything they can, and which they claimed, to help in the Bru McCoy situation? And you had 4 options. It was yes, totally believe it, or yes, no reason not to, no, it seems shady, and no, USC and Riley are liars. Like, it was kind of I believe it completely. I kind of believe it. I kind of, don't believe it, and then I absolutely don't believe it. So, with that being said, 90% of people that took this survey said no, they don't believe that. It seems shady to them at the very least.
No, and we do have to factor in the audience. Please go ahead and click on subscribe and like so we can be a part of your day. We air each weekday at 8:30 with Amanda LaFrada. I'm Dave Hooker. So we have to be mindful of the audience. Our audience is going to be more Tennessee centric. So I wasn't surprised to see it lean in that direction. I was surprised to see it lean so strong in that direction. Sam saying
I'm not a
USC.
Tennessee fan. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, Sam saying USC keeps issuing statements because they need to restate the truth. This is the USC spin. Eh, there's I mean, there's a little bit. I mean, I think there's some spin going on. I think when you put together a graphic and tweet it out, I think that you're being mindful of how you're being perceived. That is spin. That is public relations. That doesn't
No one has
public
done
relations is
that.
always bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, no one has done that. Like, no school has come out and tweeted out, like, when it comes to a player's eligibility, that they've done in a timely and if you just look at the wording that they use, the verbiage tells you all you need to know. They should have said, okay, we signed this form on January 1st, or we signed this form, even we signed the form in January, or give a date when you signed the form, around what time, not in a timely and promptly manner. We have been adhering to the NCAA rules and regulations since January. That tells me you didn't sign it in January.
No.
You're adhering to their rules and regulations, which means you're taking your sweet time to release this kid. And it's never, all it's going to do is, in the future, it's going to hurt USC. It's going to hurt USC because especially in the NIL transfer portal era that we're in, what kid's going to go to USC and be like, you know what? I'm going to go here, and then maybe they won't release me and I won't be eligible when I decide to transfer out. No, it's going to kill your recruiting, and the fact that you're out here trying to dance around it is ridiculous.
Big Orange.
No, rant over.
No, I love it. I love it. And if people haven't read the column on offthehooksports.com and you're interested in this Bru McCoy situation, then click on it, read it right when the show is over, immediately after that.
Not a Tennessee fan. Again, not a Tennessee fan. So I'm not having a homer opinion.
No.
I'm giving you opinion from a outside, this area.
Well, and let's be honest, there are a lot of homer opinions out there, which you kind of have to weed through. However, the way you laid it out and the verb, again, I would just encourage people to check it out. You know where Amanda stands on it. I stand the same way. She said it's never happened before. I'm like 20 years older than her. It has literally never happened before. Like, I started in 1996. I've never seen a school issue a statement about the eligibility of a player that is transferring. I realize that immediate eligibility is different, but I have been through these in terms of junior college players and other players, and I can tell you that no school has ever responded with a public statement. And kudos to Trey Wallace, I believe, of Outkick for getting the quote from USC. Kudos. Would have never thought to do that because I would have never thought they would have answered, but they did. Which again, he doth that protests too much, I believe is the reference you were making. Big Orange
I don't like
Philly,
to say it.
he doth that protest too much.
I just feel weird saying it, so I just don't say it. Or I'll botch it, so I just don't say it. I'll just say they protest too much.
Well, my favorite quote is a Socrates quote, and it's on my Twitter page, and I mess it up every time, so I don't even say it. I'm just like, go to my Twitter page. That's